Morning, everyone. Fantastic. Hi, I'm Darragh from Google. Doubleclick, to be exact. Now, to be clear, this slide predates Piggate. It's just a very happy, lucky, wonderful coincidence. So it's been a big week. A big couple of weeks, in fact, for UK politics. Corbyn has come in top of the Labour Party. Labour have gone pretty left right now. National anthems weren't sung. And you have Prime Minister Questions, PMQ, which were traditionally a Punch and Judy show, now a forum for the public to ask questions directly to this man. And the fact that this man is in power at all, in the driving seat with no Lib Dems in the back seat asking if we're there yet, is a huge surprise, right? I mean, the polls had it tipped to be a dead heat. It was very undecided at the time before the election as to who was going to win, and I think that shows us that what people say they do isn't always what people will do. So Google, with the University of Sheffield, did an analysis using search trends, search behaviour, in the 12 months leading up to the election. What they found was that Cameron overwhelmingly was tipped to win, right? And this contradicted all the polls, which, as I mentioned, said it was going to be a dead heat. And this is, I suppose, a good example of how search trends show us at a macro level trends of what people are thinking, what people are feeling, what people are doing. And you can see that in other examples as well. Flu tracking is quite a well-known example, right? We have Google releases a flu tracker every year in affected areas. Studies also suggest that Google can detect, search trends on Google can detect significant shifts, market shifts, based on search terms like debt and crisis and derivatives. And when we zoom in on the people behind those trends, we find amazing stories. For instance, anxiety, the search term anxiety, is most searched for in the middle of the night when people lie awake and are stressed about their future jobs, financial situations, etc. New and expecting parents search twice as much as non-parents, which is unsurprising. And you can see here as this, let me see, from these search terms here, which will kind of roll up as the slide goes along, you can get an insight into what this individual is doing, what he wants to achieve for the day, which is a day out with the kids, what's on his mind. So he's looking to buy a house. He's searching for terms like mortgage. You can even tell what the weather's like, right? He's looking to buy an umbrella. And from this, you have great insight, you have actionable data, and marketers need to be understanding the people behind the searches, need to be connecting with this data and providing assistive and contextually relevant ads. And increasingly, to do that, that's about connecting with them on mobile. I won't bore you with stats as to how big mobile is, how important it is. You've all seen them before. I think this is a much better example. This is a real Google Instant result, by the way. You can actually search for yourselves and verify. So mobile is changing the way we search. I think the first thing to point out is that it's actually providing incremental time with media. eMarketer suggests about 30 minutes additional time each day, right? The second point to call out is that it's radically changing the way we search. Amit Singhal, who is our head of search, compares the changes we've made in search on mobile to switching jet engines mid-air. Now, I've never done either, but they both sound particularly difficult, so I'm going to take his word on it. And I think there's three ways that we're primarily changing how we're searching on mobile. One is that we're not waiting for answers anymore. We're figuring it out in the moment. And here's a good video to, I suppose, illustrate this.
Grinding sound when you turn the key.
Okay. Also, we want faster, more contextual answers in the moment. So Google Trends shows you data pretty much, macro data, aggregated data pretty much in real time. And from this, you can pretty much track the mood of the nation, right? What's on people's minds. So here, you've got searches from a Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, Monday afternoon. It was towards the end of June, right? So these are real search terms. These are kind of near me search terms. And you can see Saturday afternoon, the nation, this is UK, it's pretty much thinking about food. Food seems to be primarily the only thing people are thinking about on a Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, it's more about what you can do for the day, nice things to go out and spend the afternoon doing. Food again comes to the forefront. Pubs, some people are obviously thinking about pints for a game. Monday afternoon, this Monday was particularly hot. You can see that people are looking again for activities and also ways to cool down. And so this shows the importance, right, the ability to use and the importance of real-time data, and how things like weather can impact on what people are searching for in real time. And these are the sort of movements and trends that marketers need to be acting upon. That's my dad outside our local Chanel store playing Fruit Ninja. So in the moment searches means more immediate action. With mobile, we are mobile. We can move. We're usually on the go, and so you can see, right, in terms of this, actually retail benefits significantly. So about 50% of consumers who conduct a local search on their phone, on their smartphone, visit a store within a day, and 18% of these visits result in a purchase within a day. So we're active, we're on the go, and when we're finding out information, then we can act more immediately on it. And ads need to reflect this. Ads need to be on a mobile platform, need to be action oriented, right? So they need to contain things like business hours, local inventory, directions, and you'd be amazed at how many ads on mobile aren't leveraging these contextual factors. So mobile search, interestingly, is becoming increasingly upper funnel. So this is an old ad, but I think a good one that illustrates the impact of search results on brand perceptions. And ads are changing, ads are adapting. It's not just 10 blue links anymore. Mobile search ads can be beautiful, immersive experiences. I think there's an opportunity here for brands to connect, to showcase their products, but also provide the next steps and the answers that users need. So bridging brand and performance. In fact, actually, Hilton have a very good example here, where they're building a very engaging mobile experience, where within the Hilton app you can use that as a room key. You can also check out the view from the room that you're about to purchase using Google Street View, and you can also see a control list of businesses and local places of interest. Right, so this is Hilton probably under pressure from the likes of an Airbnb, etc., providing much more immersive experiences and bridging that brand and performance gap. Consumer journeys often in many industries are about 7 to 8 steps. As marketers, I suppose we need to reduce that friction and make it easier for consumers. So it's hard to talk about search in isolation because on a mobile, it's so connected with other activities, engaging with apps, looking at videos, looking at email, etc. The majority of our time is spent on mobile, is spent on apps, but we use just a handful of them, right? So the average app count on a phone is about 23. We use 10. Thereabouts. So there's a lot of content in apps that we just aren't engaging with. And search, as you can see from this example here, is trying to re-engage consumers, connect consumers with the content in those apps, right? And apps are important. They're important upper funnel for things like discovery and lower funnel for advocacy and customer loyalty. And what you can see here is search trying to drive engagement with that content. So half of YouTube video views are actually from mobile devices. And what you can see here is actually it's a more consistent consumption across the course of the day. And again, mobile search is very important in trying to connect users with that video content. And actually there's a whole host of video content that has now sprung up that is quite specific to mobile. I wouldn't say mobile only, but really suits the kind of mobile environment. I'm thinking of how-to videos, which have been around for a long time. Unboxing videos, not a concept I was that familiar with until my stepdaughter got into them, but essentially it's watching videos of people unpacking toys. Yes, you read this correctly. Mobile search can be a creative platform, and I'm going to demonstrate this by talking about a product with the most boring name ever, ad customizers. So the easiest thing that we can do within mobile search is to change our messaging based on the way our behaviors change in a search environment. So you can see here, Fiat, nice ad on this side, but really, do I need to know how many airbags that Fiat has in this moment? Is that kind of top of mind when I'm searching on my mobile phone? There's a lot more that you could do to leverage the contextual factors here in terms of time, location, device, keyword. So with ad customizers, it's a way that search teams can dynamically change the content in the ad based on these signals, right, in real time. And a better ad here might be something which shows distance to the nearest dealer, directions to that dealer, promotional offer, time of expiry on the promotional offer. Now you're starting to give the user content that is probably more relevant to them in the situation that they're searching in. I think that last Fiat example is a really nice illustration of this. Context makes mobile the ultimate targeting tool. And these are some of the signals that marketers can leverage, right? Intent, device, time, interest, location, I just mentioned them. But you can personalize messages based on those. And don't be mistaken, personalized messages are extremely effective. Do people remember this Share a Coke campaign? Right, you've probably all seen the Coke bottles with various names. There's about 1,000 or so names written on Coke bottles. It's a massive hit last year, the year before. 150 million bottles of Coke sold, about 1 billion impressions on Twitter, and it touched into that want and desire, that kind of responsiveness to a personalised message. You can see here almost 3/4 of 20 to 40-year-olds are favourably disposed to brand messages that are personally relevant. content, right? That customized messages. And relevancy is at the core of search, is what drives success on that platform. The signals that we just talked about there, the location, intent, etc. They're finally giving us insight into the ways that offline and online behavior are connected, and how online drives offline purchases. And if you think about it, only about 10% of all transactions still are online, right? About 90% are still offline. That's a global figure. Obviously, that probably differs in more advanced markets, but it's still a staggering statistic, right? And these new signals, these mobile, leveraging these signals on mobile helps us develop new features, bring new features to the market, where you can now track in-store visits and in-store transactions, right? Which is very powerful in understanding how your online advertising is impacting on offline sales. We did a study recently with Galeries Lafayette. Anyone who's been to France has probably seen this. It's kind of an upmarket French department store. And we were helping them figure out kind of cross-device movement, customer journey, offline to online behavior. And you can see some of the stats here, very interesting content, but I suppose what was particularly interesting was not only were multi-device users the most profitable for them, but the various devices played different parts of the purchasing process, right? So tablet over-indexed on having products in cart. Desktop was still the kind of key platform for actual purchasing. Mobile was crucial in upper funnel stuff, so discovery, and also post-purchase, right? So people were checking on their order. And armed with that information, then Galeries Lafayette was successfully able to adapt their sales strategy. So conversion still predominantly takes place on desktops, as we've seen from that last example, but mobile is crucial in upper funnel research activities. And there's an interesting stat here to illustrate that, right? So on last Cyber Monday, 35% of all traffic was driven by mobile, but only 20% of sales resulted from mobile, which shows that people were doing a lot of the research on their phones and then either purchasing in store or on their desktop. And I think we all know that's true from our own behavior, right? I mean, myself, if I'm standing at a bus stop or a bit of time to kill, I will do all those things that I need to, online shopping or what have you. I would probably research there, and then when I'm sitting at home in the evening in front of a laptop, then I do a lot of the purchasing. So here's a typical conversion path, right? This is just one example of a path, but I think it's kind of indicative of many that we see. Now this will obviously change depending on your industry, the products and goods or the goods and services that you're selling. But what you can see here is, mobile, again, upper funnel, the CT is computer, tablet, video kind of over-index on the research phase. When you come into consideration, then you've got phone coming into the mix, purchase, computer, tablet, higher up, and in store, and then loyalty. Again, you're back into a mobile environment, driving a lot of the loyalty and advocacy. I think the good news here, right? This is going to differ depending on your industry, as I mentioned. But our ability to measure with things like cross-device tracking and in-store visits and transactions is getting significantly better. And every marketer needs to understand this journey to see where they need to invest appropriately. So this is a pretty obvious statement, but it's worth calling out again, right? With Google, we see that in 10 markets, including the US and Japan, actually mobile search queries are now higher than desktop queries. That's a pretty significant stat. That means we're pretty much a mobile advertising company now, right? So, this is the future of search is mobile. And within that, our goal is to assist users with a focus on context answers an action. And how this plays out is the way the search ads and formats that we bring to market, how we present our search results, how we connect users between activities on mobile devices, search, app, video, email, and what have you. And just to kind of wrap up, I have one more slide after this, but this is a sneak peek at the type of things that we're doing in Google to make those connections.
So you want to see it in action? Yes? All right, let's do it. So here he's listening to Skrillex, and you wonder, like me, what is his real name?
Okay, Google, what's his real name?
Skrillex's full name is Sonny John Moore.
Who knew? Quick answer to quick question without having to switch context. Oh, notice also he could say his real name. Now it's obvious to you and me who Neil is referring to, but thanks to the context of what you're looking at and the natural language understanding, it's obvious to now as well. So in this case, you see a message from my husband about dinner plans. Oh, and of course, he forgot to pick up dry cleaning, so it's on me. Again, with a simple tap and hold on the home button, you get help here. So first, just like the movie, you saw nice information, instant information about the restaurant, reviews, ratings, even how to book a table. But check this. Google now created a smart reminder card for me to pick up that dry cleaning. Let's go tap on Open Table so you can see how you can jump in. And notice, we took you right to the specific restaurant in the app, no futzing with the phone. And I want to show you a quick, subtle but cool thing while we're here. So let's switch to the menu. And that second dish there sounds good. Kind of hard to pronounce for me. And, but I want to see how it looks like.
Okay, Google, show me pictures of Spinaco Tiropita.
Pictures of Spanacotta Rapida. Here you go.
So new age growth companies that are kind of winning in the ecosystem today are founded on mobile. They're disrupting because they're mobile, right? They understand that users want seamless experiences, technology that understands their context, and that reduces friction. So Uber is a great example of a company that is mobile first, very disruptive, provides a seamless experience, and that's really powering it ahead. And in search, the future of search mobile is disrupting this. As you can see from today, the future is bright. Right, there's a lot of scope for personalization, for creativity, and for utility. And I suppose if you as a marketer are engaged with that and pushing that transformation ahead, then I think the future is pretty bright and rosy. If you're not, then a question: what's stopping you? That's it from me. Thank you very much.